So this is always interesting. This coming in from Smart Pricks, who went ahead and posted this. GS Vanson actually went ahead and posted this article. But this is the best foldables that's rollable phones in 2022. And this, of course, is the concept of a rollable phone. Kind of does look like the Surface Duo 1, Surface Duo 2. When you are putting it in phone mode, it does have that same concept where it's like this and then it goes like this. That's what they're showing off. But this is what there would be a rollable phone. Because how the rollable phones works is that when you have the phone, let's say, for example, in a regular orientation like tablet mode, then you can go ahead and roll the screen back to be on the back of the phone. It's the same thing as the Surface Duo 1, Surface Duo 2, but it's for rollable phones. So let's go ahead and start it off right away. They have the number one phone being the Galaxy Z Fold 3. Now, this is not surprising in any stretch of the imagination. One of the most expensive foldable phones on the market right now at $17.99. Respectively, obviously different pricing depending on what gigabyte version you get. But overall wise, it's pretty much the norm for any foldable phone. It's the standard for any foldable phone. You have 120 hertz outside display, 120 hertz inside display. You also have NFC, you have wireless charging, you have IPX8 rating. It's one of the only foldable phones that actually has real true waterproofness, which is really surprising. Obviously, it does not have, any dust resistance. The only knocks on this phone is really that inside display is not as tough as it really should be for the price tag. But they have made it more durable as time has gone on. So that's a plus for the, Fold 3. Outside of that, again, like I said, the camera system is a really solid camera system. It's a triple 12 megapixel cameras on the back, a 10 on the front, and a 4 under display camera inside. Now, with other foldable phones, they have actually gotten even better. And we're looking at better camera systems on other foldable phones as we go down here. It does have a 4400 milliamp battery, which is a definite plus. And overall, just a really nice and unique phone. And I will definitely say it's one of my favorite phones for that reason. Next thing we have here, the Galaxy Z Flip 3. Now, the Flip 3 is actually a lot better at 5G. Z Flip 3 5G. This is actually a lot better than the Z Flip. And if you're thinking about picking up the Z Flip or this phone, recommendation would be picking up the 5G version. The Z Flip was plagued with one major issue. It was the crease down the middle of the display was actually breaking for a lot of people. And if you went ahead and used it for, say, a couple months, that inside display, that little crease, would actually start becoming worse and worse, and to a point where you pretty much couldn't even use the phone. The other biggest issue with this phone was battery life. A lot of people have had issues with battery life and saying that they only are getting 4 to 5 hours of use out of this phone every single day before you have to charge it again. You literally have to bring a charger with you. Now, of course, the appeal to this phone, and it looks exactly like a candy bar cell phone when opened up. And then when you close it, it does have that beautiful 1.1 inch display that lets you be able to still use the phone without having to go ahead and open it up. Of course, this is the, the small capability of this phone is really the selling point. But outside of that, it's a decent phone. There has been other issues with this phone when it comes to the microphone port breaking and not working for a lot of people. But outside of that, still a really great phone. I will say overall wise, makes sense comes in number 2 because for all the foldable phones, this is actually a really, really good foldable phone. Next one is actually a phone that a lot of people are considering better than the Fold 3, and that's going to be the Oppo's Find and 5G. Now, this phone right here, I will say overall wise, it does interest me. It comes in at a price tag of $1,200. And when you look at the price tags of the last two phones, this is $1,000 and this is $1,799. When you look at this coming in at $1,200, it's the same, it's less money than the Surface Duo 2, Surface Duo 2, and just Surface Duo 2. And the Z Fold 3, and it's more expensive than the Flip 3, but it has a lot to pack a punch with. First off, it has really good cameras on the back. It also has no crease down the middle, which of course does plague the Z Flip 3 and Z Fold 3. Now, it's not going to give you everything that those phones are going to give you when it comes to waterproofness, and obviously it does have wireless charging, but again, if you get this wet, you're pretty much in the can. At that point, it does come with very decent specs compared to the other two. Obviously, this is going to come with 12 gigabytes of RAM. The other one comes with 12 gigabytes of RAM too. It also does come with a Snapdragon 888 processor, which is an absolute W. And overall, I will say it's a really, really good phone overall. It does come in a 50 megapixel camera on the back, which does push it above what we see out of the Z Fold 3, which is actually a really big plus. And I will say overall wise, it's a phone where if it wasn't only released in China, I think a lot more people would be picking up the Oppo Find and 5G over Z Fold 3, but it's just, of course, the ability to actually get this phone is a little bit more difficult than it is to get the Fold 3 right now, obviously. So let's go ahead and now look at the next phone we have on this list, and that's going to be the Moto Razr 5G, which came out back in 2020. And again, like I said, you know, it automatically looks exactly like the Fold 3. I'm sorry, the Flip 3, right? So the big difference is it has that, you know, old Motorola Razr type look to it, where it kind of looks like there would be just a screen at the top and then the keyboard at the bottom. But of course, it is all one display. Now, to be honest, I will say this does look very, very awesome. You know, it's one of those things where it was the first kind of generation of foldable, flippable phones. So it's not going to be the greatest phone on the market, but it definitely has some pretty interesting things, including a 48 megapixel rear shooter, which is actually really, really freaking awesome. It only comes with a 2800 milliamp battery that does support fast charging, no wireless charging. But again, when you look at it, you're like, okay, so it has some drawbacks, and it will. It's early technology. We're now on to more technology. Now, this is another phone that came out recently, and that's going to go and be the Mi MIX Fold. This bad boy right here, again, like I said, you're going to see a lot of similarities to what the Z Fold 3 looks like because of the fact of, again, that's the standard people are going off of, right? Especially for these foldable phones. Now, this is going to go ahead and give you a 108 megapixel main camera, quad speakers, 5020 milliamp battery, 67 watt turbocharger, up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 storage option, and a flagship Snapdragon 888 processor, which is really freaking awesome. Now, I'm not sure if this has wireless charging or if it does have waterproofness, but I will say overall wise, like I said before, it's kind of just a copy and paste of all these foldable phones together. This is when we're kind of getting into that same ballpark. Next phone we have here is going to go ahead and be the Surface Duo right here, which is the original Surface Duo. Now, the reason why this is on this list, it makes absolute sense, is because this phone is, of course, now the standard for any foldable phone you could pick up. This phone is coming in now at around $399. Even cheaper on eBay. You can get this phone for around $300 on eBay. And it really just gives you everything you need. Now, this phone is very buggy right now. When it first came out, it was an absolute buggy mess. It was impossible to use. It has gotten so much better since those days. Now, this phone is going to go ahead and get Android 11 very soon this month, and then Android 12L in the next couple months, which is an absolute W. Overall wise, I will say this is still one of my favorite phones when it comes actual hardware wise, because of course you can go ahead and fold it in phone mode 360 degrees, and it looks absolutely gorgeous, rather than the Surface Duo 2 that does go ahead and give you that little bump in the back, which I think is an absolute L. All right, we got Huawei Mate X2. Again, like I said, we're kind of getting the same concept here over and over again. It's a Z Fold 3 with better cameras, no wireless charging, no waterproofness, but it's going to go ahead and give you 90 hertz displays rather than 120 hertz displays, which could be considered an L in that opinion. It also gives you 8 gigabytes of RAM versus 12 gigabytes of RAM. So again, like I said, I was going down here. We're getting to more or less just really poorer quality, I say, than Z Fold 3 phones. So this is the Royal FlexPod 2. And this is the type of phone that does always interest me, but also scares me at the same time. So how these phones work is when they close, they don't close like regular, like this phone right here, right? This phone right here goes like that. And based on what I'm saying with these phones, again, like I said, many doesn't know about this phone at the moment in time, but I believe when these phones close, actually, I think you can close them both ways technically, but the inner display is just so fragile, so easy to break. They're just not worth the money. Yes, you could pick them up. Yes, you could rock them, but it's just how easy it is to break them. It's almost to a point where it's not even worth it. And now we're getting to a phone that's actually quite interesting, and that is the last phone on this list, the TCL Tri-Fold. And this is where I think a lot of foldable phone manufacturers are heading. We already saw Microsoft do a patent for a foldable phone that's a tri-fold. Samsung has been going crazy with their tri-fold phones, and I think that's really where we're heading toward, that same direction when it comes to a phone that has 3 different displays, folds out, and when it does fold out completely, it has a gigantic tablet type look. When folded together, of course, it becomes just one single display. I think that's where we're really heading, and that's what we're going to see with these next generation of phones in 2022. So guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.